Hello, this is Wubat, a postdoctoral fellow at NASA Goddard Space Flight Center. Welcome to my presentation, and today I'll present you our research work is entitled Land Use Land Cover Classification in the Amhara region in Northwest Ethiopia using convolutional neural networks. The Amhara region is located on the northwestern part of Ethiopia, and this region constitutes 1/5 of the area of the country, while it supported more than 1/3 of cereal crop production of the country, and therefore it's a major cereal crop producing part of Ethiopia. The region has a population more than 20 million, which is huge. It's a densely populated area, and it has one long growing season, which is called current, that extends from June to October. There's also a small growing season on the eastern part of the region, which is called bulg, that ranges from March to April, May. In East Africa, in general, agriculture is traditional and rain-fed. So smallholding, which makes it very vulnerable for climatic events such as drought and floods. The Amhara region is highly undulated, and elevation ranges from about 500 meters along the Sudan border to more than 4,000 meters above sea level. So a huge relief. Due to this huge relief, croplands especially are highly fragmented. An average holding for a farmer in that area is about half hectare, which is too small. The area received a huge rainfall, so that ranges from 500 to about 2,000. So that's a huge rainfall, and it's also the source for the Blue Nile that contributes more than 70%, 80% of the Nile River water. Therefore, mapping such fragmented croplands, land use land covers, require a high spatial resolution imagery and also a robust classification methodology. And such remote sensing products, land use land cover classification products, especially the crop cover, will serve as a baseline for crop yield forecasting and estimation, which in turn can be used for planning purposes to alleviate food insecurity, which is a huge problem in that part of the world in general. In terms of data, we have got a training data from the land, so from Ethiopia, from the Land Investment for Transformation, or LIFT Ethiopia. This is an NGO supported by the British government. This NGO was operating in Ethiopia from 2013 to 2020. They recorded a huge amount of land parcels that constitutes about 9.2 million parcels, which is huge. And about 1/3 of the Amhara region, the study area, the land parcels were, so about 1/3 of the land parcels were recorded by this organization. And from this, we have got few data set due to the problem of data dissemination issue. There is no smooth data dissemination for this data. I just got few data sets through personal communication. And the data sets is constituted the cropland, shrubland, forest, bare land, settlement, and grasslands. So it's a huge resource, a very great resource. And here, the boundary of the collected parcels were overlaid on a Google Earth image. And so as you see here, the boundary of the land parcels is perfectly aligned with the Google Earth image. So the training data sets were collected in 2015, 2016, and these data were actually the land parcels were digitized from a very high resolution aerial photo, 2 centimeter aerial photo, while the attribute data was collected through field survey. So they took much time, and also they used a large labor, human power to collect, to organize these data sets. The other data set that we used is the digital globe data developed using the enhanced very high resolution software in our center, so in our research team. And this data has 1 meter panchromatic data and a 2 meter multispectral data using the workflow that's presented here. And through this process, we have got lots of data. Actually, still we are on processing of these data sets. So for multispec from 2009 to 2021, we will have about 6,400 strips, which is huge, and in terms of pan, it's more than 13,000 strips. And here on the left, I just presented a sample RGB image of the world view image that we are using for this classification, and overlaid are the land parcels that we are using for the training dataset development. And so as you see here, the field boundaries are perfectly aligned with this world view image. So in terms of computational resources, we are using the NASA ADAPT cluster. So we are using that for computing our work, processing our work. So we prepared our data sets, and we just normalize the data sets for the analysis, because there is a training data imbalance issue, especially there are lots of cropland parcels, shrubland parcels, but few forest and settlements. So that is a way how the land cover is existing on the land. So lots of populations, therefore almost all the areas are plowed. That's a high cropland cover, but forests are deteriorating. So to avoid such imbalance of the training data sets, we just transform the data sets and use other methods to compensate such issues. This is a k-means that we use to explore the data set. The main method that we use for the land cover classification is unit like CNN method. So we use this method to classify our croplanders. And here is the unit architecture presented. We also used random forest for comparative purposes and to see if there is any advantage one over the other, or probably combining the two methods. This graph here is a training and validation loss that achieved about 80% accuracy, which is good. For the CNN model, we just used dice loss method to overcome class imbalances. This is one sample result. So it's a 2014 image, world view image, classified, and on the left, on the right is the corresponding true color image, and we overlaid the training data sets, the boundaries of the training data sets, to just see or compare how they are aligned. And as we see here, the croplanders, the shrublanders were classified perfectly, while there are actually some errors on the shrublanders. Some shrublanders were classified as croplanders. The major issue that we saw is grasslanders. So the smaller land cover types are classified as the neighboring larger land cover types. So grasslands here are classified as croplanders. So we see those kinds of issues. But here the settlement, so it's a small town, but the classification just identify this settlement. And there is also another example output. This example output is outside the training data set, so we just predict this land cover outside of our training area. And as you see here, there are road networks just for comparison reference to compare that with the original RGB image. The croplanders, the shrublanders were classified perfectly. So when you see the shrublanders, the shapes, they are just cached by our classification algorithm. So that's great. The towns here, Mota, we call that town, is also just identified by our classification, even though some part of the town is classified as cropland. So we see those kinds of inconsistencies in terms of the smaller land cover classes. Here is accuracy assessment. So as I said before, the larger classes are classified or achieve higher accuracy, while the smaller land cover classes perform poorly. And for this, there are two issues, two problems. One, when we develop the training data sets, we just have a smaller number of parcels for the smaller land cover classes, and vice versa. So we will improve that. We will add more training data sets for the smaller land cover classes, and therefore we will overcome this issue. And also for the accuracy assessment, the ground truth pointers that we use for this accuracy assessment, some of the smaller classes were not that pure, since it was not easy to find pure land cover classes for the smaller classes. But we will also take care of these things. We will pay great attention for this, and for sure we can we will get improved results. So recap message, just agriculture in East Africa is traditional, rain-fed, and land parcels or land use land cover types are highly fragmented, especially croplands are highly fragmented. So mapping such fragmented land use land cover areas require high resolution data sets, satellite imageries, and also robust classification methodologies. We have used the land investment for transformation, the LIFT training data set. And we use also the world view imagery, the high resolution, 1 meter to 2 meter resolution. We used the CNN unit method, the random forest method for the classification. And the outputs that we have got in our preliminary analysis, actually this research is at its earliest stage yet. So the preliminary results showed that larger land cover classes were classified, or they achieved high accuracy, while smaller land cover classes were classified poorly. And these especially the drawbacks is attributed to our training data set limitation, and also the accuracy, the ground truth pointers for the accuracy identification. And we will improve these things, and we will get for sure a better results. So this is next step. So since the research is at its beginning stage, we plan to do more to get a better result and to work for the whole region. Now we just did a very small part of our study area as a starter. Hopefully you will search our paper when it's coming in the near future to get the full work of our outputs. So that's that, and thank you.